Hey, River City. I want to take a few moments and tell you about something that we've been praying about for several months now. We've talked with leaders at all the campuses, and I wanted to just let all of us know here on a Sunday morning some exciting things that God's put before us for the next number of months. One of the things that we really value in our multi-site movement, we're really a church, one church with multiple locations. We have New Braunfels, we have Northwest, and we have our central campus right here. And we really value the fellowship between our campuses. I will say there are a couple things, though, that we haven't been able to do as well as we would have liked to. Whether it's because of resources with moving to Central Campus as well as having two other campuses, or whether it's just the way we operate, there are some things that we have just felt like we haven't been able to do up to the level that we've wanted. And so we began praying about what are we going to do regarding the multi-sites? How should we best proceed to give them every chance to win? Well, I actually sat down with Aaron Powers of the Northwest campus and began to talk to him about some of the things we were thinking about. And as you guys know in Northwest, and maybe through the rest of the ministry, Aaron's a gifted communicator, and he's someone who I personally thought one day he's probably going to do what I do. He's a preacher. I think he's got leadership gifts. I think he will one day be a point leader. And so we began to talk about, what if, Aaron? We began to take the Northwest campus and move it, instead of as a multi-site of Central Campus, as a daughter church and as a church in relationship with Central Campus. Well, he and his wife Brianna took some time to pray because that wasn't something that they were going to enter into casually. And he came back and said, you know what? If we could have the right type of relationship with Central and the right type of coaching relationship, that's something that we'd be really interested in. And so that really began to stir something in us, and I'll say on the exact same day that I spoke with Aaron, and I hadn't talked to anybody else about this, Jason Powers, who I had also recognized has, I think, leadership gifts and communication gifts that would one day make him a point leader. He came to me and just shared some things that he and Natalie had been praying about and had been going on in their lives, and just thinking that, you know what, the position they were in, God was beginning to close that season and was wanting to take them somewhere further, take them to another level of leadership. And I had to confirm, I've seen that in Jason, and that's something that I believe the Lord had for him. And so we ended up talking to Jason about, well, rather than have to go somewhere else for that to happen, what about the New Braunfels campus? And I think he was, again, taken aback a little bit, hadn't really considered that, but that's something that he and Natalie had always had somewhat of an affinity for New Braunfels. Natalie had a grandmother there, and she spent a lot of time in New Braunfels and had thought that one day she might be there. And they prayed about this and just really sensed the Lord giving them a green light on this. So we met with the New Braunfels campus, we met with the Northwest campus, and just talked to leaders and members there, and they have unanimously supported that they're in on this idea of taking our multi-site campuses and turning them into daughter churches. Now, we plan on putting them in relationship with one another. We're forming what's called the Real Life Network. We'll still be meeting together. We'll still do events together, retreats, camps, things like that. But we're going to take each of those churches and let them operate as an independent Christian fellowship in relationship with Central Campus. I've actually got Jason here today, and I just wanted to talk with you guys and see how you felt about this whole process. Aaron, we'll start with you since you're the first guy I talked to. What's the Lord been saying and doing as we walk through this whole process?
We're really excited about the opportunity. As we've walked through it, one of the things that has been sort of unexpected, but that we've been the most excited about, has been instantly, as we've rolled this out to our campus, the way the ownership and excitement level in our room has changed and has risen, and people beginning to realize, hey, this is our thing now, and an understanding that they really have an opportunity, that we at the Northwest campus have an opportunity to do some unique things in addition to what we've already been doing to sort of maximize our impact and outreach in that community. And so that's been fun to watch.
I think we saw that at both campuses, a little bit of a what I'll call a gulp factor of people going, wow, this is very real and now it's ours.
Yeah, no doubt. And as they've gotten over the initial shock of, oh man, you used the illustration when you're out there about, they charge for everything. There's a light bill coming. There's the rent payment is up to ours. Once they've gotten past that initial shock, there's been a real excitement about the opportunity to be a real owner at a new level in their ministry, because the strength of the multi-site model was where there was lack, whether it be in financial resources or people resources. We had that shared relationship where we could kind of draw on Central, and now as we begin to move into this next season, it all sort of rises and falls on what happens in that room. And people are already beginning to step up and get a new level of excitement.
That's awesome. Jason, you guys at the New Braunfels campus have a little different adjustment. You know a lot of the people there, but there's probably some folks that are getting to know you. How's that process been for you and Natalie?
It's been exciting. The process for Natalie and I was a little bit different in that, I've been on staff here for 10 years. I was the youth pastor and then the small groups guy and then minister of spiritual formation and finally the campus pastor. And it's been, this has been the process of my spiritual growth and formation here. And so the first thing that we knew was it was time for us to take a step of faith. We didn't know where, we just knew that we were supposed to step out. Very much Abraham, leave the land of your fathers, and that's what River City's provided for me, has been a land of spiritual fathers to follow and to look up to. And so that was a nervous kind of situation. But because of the multi-site model, because of the things I'd done in small groups, I knew a lot of the leaders out at New Braunfels in kind of a ministry-specific kind of way, but there was already the foundation of those relationships. And so as we've gone out there, it's been exciting to see a lot of what Aaron was talking about, kind of just the gulp factor, but people knowing that this is ours now, and someone that there's the foundation of relationship with, that clearly there's a lot of room to go. But the biggest thing is just the ability to say, we're building this on a foundation of faith, which is a very River City thing. It's very much what we've always done.
So.
And so we're able to just say, hey, we're taking a step of faith because we believe this is what God wants everybody to do. And so the road ahead is going to be big. It's going to be fun and exciting. Plenty of gulps to go around, but truly a good thing.
I will say we at Central Campus are going to miss both you guys. Right now, you and Natalie are ministering here, and so there's a little bit of that sadness of for us of having to go, oh, they're not going to be ministering here on Sundays. Now, you're just going to New Braunfels.
Right.
You're going to be okay crossing 309?
We're gonna wait and see. We're gonna have to get a new car. We're gonna trade cars when we get north of the line. But
The whole idea of us being in a relationship together is very exciting to me. That's how we've operated as multi-sites. Aaron and Bree have been serving coming on 2 years now.
Correct. Yeah.
But we're still together in ministry. We still meet regularly, and so we plan to continue this real life network. Tell me what that does for you guys and your campuses as you're kind of launching into this new phase of church growth and development.
Yeah, for us, for Brianne and I, when we initially were approached with the idea of planting, you mentioned we were. Maybe we had the first real big gulp and wondering, man, are we ready for that? We felt like the last 2 years in serving at the Northwest Campus had, in a lot of ways, prepared us for the next step of leadership. But I also realized that I'm still young at 33, and I've got a lot to learn. And so for me, when we came back and I told you, kind of a non-negotiable for me was a close relationship with campus to campus so that we can rely on each other for training and for support, but also personally for a mentoring and coaching role. That was a non-negotiable for me because I take very seriously kind of the weight of the responsibility that we're stepping into. And so to be able to have, somebody who has been a friend and a mentor to me over the years to go to and say, how did you handle this when you were there? And not feel like you're forced to kind of go it alone. What was really kind of what gave me the confidence to go, I think that this is a good time, and I think that this is the right step, because that was our biggest fear, was to step out alone without a support network to be able to encourage you and coach and give guidance. What seemed overwhelming. So for me, the idea of the River City Network to us is kind of the best of both worlds, of getting to step out and exercise your leadership gift in a new way, while knowing that you still have the strength of a relational connection. Yeah. So for us, it was kind of a win-win.
That's good. How about you, Jason? I mean, you're coming from this campus, which is going to be, a little bit tearful goodbye, but you're going to a church that's going to be in relationship. How's this affecting you guys?
Well, one of the coolest things about this is very much the sense that it's a big step of faith, but when it happens this way, there's truly a sense that nothing is lost. And if there's I said to small group leaders when we talk about multiplication of small groups, I've probably said it 1,000,000 times. If your small group is healthy and alive, I want 100 just like it. Yeah. And the best way to do it is to take that DNA, the people who have seen that, and that's what they know and they've experienced, and start it again. And if I could boil my entire life of ministry down to one word, I think it would be the word multiply. And so I'm very excited about being in New Braunfels. One of the elements is that truly it's 10, 15 minutes away. And I feel like I owe a great debt of gratitude for support and encouragement and trust and confidence to this central campus, to the River City campus. And to be able to do this just up the road and still have the relationship where we can celebrate together, where I don't feel alone. I feel the weight of responsibility and very definitely that step of faith that we are supposed to take, but we're not alone. It's a very godlike thing that's happened. And so we're just nervous, but couldn't be more excited. Yeah.
Thanks, you guys. We're going to ask everyone just to be praying. We're going to do this transition through the month of October, and then by November, Jason will be in New Braunfels. Aaron will be doing kind of full-on leadership there, and we hope to have the whole transition, finances, bank accounts, all that stuff that's going to happen by the end of the year. So be praying, and you'll be hearing more as things unfold. Thanks for letting us have a few minutes.